Ragged Bear by Brigitte Wenninger. Illustrated by Alan Marks.
The story. Once there was a big honey brown teddy bear. He was old and worn, ragged and torn, but his heart was still full of love. He spent most of his time sitting in the corner next to the old ball and the wooden locomotive. Once in a while the children would play with him. They would throw him high in the air until he landed with a loud thump. That was fun. Sometimes they used him as a pillow or as a doorstop. Sometimes he was a tunnel that the toy train drove under. But when visitors came, the children would toss Teddy back in the corner. They had much nicer toys to show their friends. One day they brought Teddy to the park. He rode in the tricycle trailer with the puppets and a doll. He was really happy. Then it started to rain, and the children rushed back home. But they forgot Teddy. He was left sitting on a park bench all by himself. Teddy cried, but because he was already wet, no one could see his tears. He sat there for hours and hours, soggy and miserable, and very, very sad, until finally he fell asleep. When he woke up, he was being lifted by a smiling child. Poor Teddy had looked so old and ragged that someone had thrown him away. But the smiling child hugged him tight and carried him to a new home. There he was given a bubble bath, wrapped in a big towel, and set near the warm oven to dry. Then he was lovingly brushed until his honey brown coat shone like gold. His nose was fixed, his ear was repaired, and all the holes in his stomach were sewn up. And he was allowed to sleep in a bed. He was hugged and cuddled, tucked in tight, and kissed good night. Later that night, as Teddy sat in the glow of the moonlight, he was the happiest teddy bear in the world. He was still old and a little bit worn, but he was no longer ragged and torn, and his heart was filled with love. Ah.